Hello, I'm Alexandra Ampofowaa Osei Boakye. I'm the oldest of three. I'm from Kibi in the Eastern region. Um, I have a background in science. In senior high school, I offered science. I went to St. Louis, so I'm a Slough, proud Slough. I was at Tech. At Tech, I read physics and actuarial science, and from there, I went on to work with a renowned insurance company here in Ghana. I worked with them for 4.5 years until I left to work with a real estate company where I was also a marketing consultant for a year and a half. That was until 2018. So I finally quit to run my business full time. I am the creative director of Tutu Palace, the renowned children's custom clothing brand here in Ghana. I remember back then, I had always wanted to do something, so I wasn't quite sure what exactly that I wanted to venture in. And so I went for a christening ceremony, and I saw the kind of gifts that were being presented to the new parents. And I actually thought that these gifts could have been packaged a little better than they were given. And so that was what gave birth to the very first business that I established, and that was Maternity Solutions GH. That was the very first business that I ventured into. So in 2016, Maternity Solutions GH was created. We were in the business of making baby hampers. So everybody who was going for christening ceremonies could patronize hampers from us that were well packaged and presented to new parents. Palace came about in 2017. I was approached by a client whose child was turning one, and she had a peculiar request. She wanted me to make her customized top with Tutu. This was something that I had never done before. But being a business person who is all about finding solutions to problems, I took up this challenge, and this eventually gave birth to the business that a lot of us are well aware of now, that is Tutu Palace. When I started Tutu Palace, we were just mainly making customized tops for children and tutu for the girls, with sequence shorts for the boys. We did this consistently for about 2 years until I enrolled myself in fashion school in 2019 to learn how to make beautiful, custom, handmade dresses. Tutu Palace as a brand is mainly here to serve busy parents or time-poor parents, would put it. Our main aim is to make dresses for these parents without them having to leave their homes. So just by placing an order with us, you get quality, well-made dresses that is better suited for your children without you having to have the hassle of going to look for a seamstress, going to take measurements, going for fitting. You go and then the dress is ill fitted, you have to do alterations and all that. We cut all that stress out. That is what Palace stands for. And that is our unique selling proposition. It is that we provide well-made, custom, handmade dresses, children from newborn to teenage years, without the hassle of having to scout for seamstress and without any stress at all. You get well-made dresses for your children, with quality food. When it comes to the challenges that I face in the course of my business, it's a lot, but I'm going to try to summarize them. I was still working with the insurance company when I started my business. That meant that I was working full time. So That meant that I had to be working on my orders late at night. I would finish working on them usually at around 1 a.m., go to bed, wake up around 5, to prepare for work. And that also had a toll on me because then it began to get stressful. I think what kept me going every single day was passion and the joy, just receiving orders from clients. It just sort of fueled me somehow and kept me going. Um, Eventually, the stress and the demand from the business started growing as my client base started growing. And so something had to give. In 2018, I finally decided that it's either I stop the business altogether or I quit my job. And I made the ultimate sacrifice, quitting my job, because at the time the business was good enough to sustain me financially. And so I quit my job and enrolled in a fashion school. The reason why I enrolled myself in a fashion school, being a graduate from an entirely different field, was so that I could have hands-on um, knowledge about exactly how I wanted things done in my business. And so that was also a challenge because financially, I needed to, I had to, pump in a lot of money into that. And yeah, I mean, I had to quit my job to do that. And also, around 2019, when I did this, we had a lot of spying issues here and there with mobile money, and I was running my business solely online. Even now, Tutu Palace is mainly operating online. That meant that for people to patronize you, there was always that fear of being scammed because there was a lot of scamming happening all around us. So for an online business, that meant that if somebody was going to send money to you, they had to be absolutely sure that you would deliver. This was a challenge sometimes, but I found a way to, manage this. And I am glad that 5 years down the line, my business is thriving and my client base has grown so much so that trust has been established. And um, having seen celebrity kids in my dresses, having had friends, who probably patronize me, who do a lot of recommendation out there. Because usually when friends recommend other friends, then they know and trust that the business is legitimate. And so another challenge that I was faced when I started to scale the business was getting fabric. Tutu Palace prides itself in making unique dresses for children. That means that as much as possible, we want to use and source fabrics that are unique, that are quality, so that our dresses stand out from what you will typically find in the mother care shop. I've had to go as far as Dubai to source fabrics. I buy fabrics from China, and so far, those are two of the main places that I get fabrics from. I've also gotten a few from Europe, but yeah, so that is how far I have gone to be able to get unique fabrics to serve my clients. Apart from the fabric, sometimes for embellishment, it's also difficult because on the Ghanaian market in Accra, most of them are, very what we call one way, as in they're all looking the same. Sometimes you get the type you want, you don't get it in the color you want, you don't get the quality you want. So yes, sourcing fabrics has also been a major challenge. And I must say that running the business online has been very helpful because even though we didn't have Kemota for a long time, I still was able to reach a lot of clients worldwide. Tutu Palace prides itself in serving clients in over 30 different countries worldwide. Yes, we've served people from several states in the USA. We've served people from Canada. We've served people from Europe, in the UK, Ireland, Scotland, in Europe, Italy, Netherlands, Yeah, Amsterdam. So yeah, and then in Africa we've said countries like Liberia, Sierra Leone. I think Zambia also, and in Ghana nationwide. So those are some of the places that Charles prides herself in sending our unique statement dresses to. And it's all because of our unique selling proposition, which is provide our clients with well-made quality custom handmade dresses. So the next phase for Palace is that we want to, apart from just the kids' clothing, we want to go and mostly we're doing for girls. So we want to go more into looking both for girls and boys, and we're also looking to go more into matching, serve the family more, so be able to do more stuff for parents as well, and we're looking also to go into maternity stuff. So where we have the maternity photo shoots, gowns and dresses, and so that we have an all-inclusive from maternity to newborn to teenage and then the family as a whole. So watch out for us. So yeah, our social media handles on Instagram, there's Tutu Palace, TUTU underscore Palace, and on Facebook, Palace. We're on Threads as well, Palace. Thank you.